In this third and last part of this series, we go deeper into the divine perspective on violence, suffering, and the hidden truths shaping humanity's path. The first question is, why can't we live in a world where we peacefully coexist? What is it that drives human beings to perpetuate separation?
As we've mentioned before, this realm is made up of white light and red light, and so separation is a core component of this existence. What we would say is, what's important is looking at it from the perspective of, there's so much pain and suffering, how can we peacefully coexist? Change your perspective to, this is a realm of creation, and separation exists to allow for creation. The energy of red light, or separation, is an energy of creation, and specifically, physical creation. You can't have physical creation without red light, so you view it as an energy of creation. Change your perspective of what separation is. And once you start viewing it from the perspective of, this is an energy of creation, this is what leads to expansion, then you naturally start to live in more harmony and peace from the inside. And then this is translated into the collective. You play as an individual, as a separate physical entity that's part of this collective consciousness of humanity. You need to play your part, instead of pointing fingers and waiting for something outside of you to happen. That is what leads to what you label as peaceful coexistence.
Can the heart and body truly get a break from all of this? Some people may find rest in sleep, but many don't even have that luxury. Energetically, so many hearts and bodies are experiencing unprecedented stress. How can they rest?
By connecting to us. The ones who suffer in the sense or in the way that you have described are not connected to us, not aware that we are always present, not aware that they are part of us, not aware that we reside in every cell of their being. Once that awareness is formed and held, and there's conviction in that awareness, and that truth is not just a perspective, it's the truth. Once you know it and you embody it, you will not experience such pain, regardless of the story around you. That will not be something that is experienced internally. Does that make sense? The solution is to connect to us, to remember us. Remember your divinity.
What can we do as human beings to change the narrative? Do we even have a say, or is it all divinely orchestrated and fated?
Of course you have a say, as you are us. Again, we'll go back to the notion of what is it that you are doing? What are you as an individual, a separate physical entity? What is your role? And have you accepted that you have a role to play? And are you offering more light or shadow? What are you offering? In this realm, what is your offering, light or shadow? Are you shining in your light? Or are you playing small, minimizing yourself, shrinking, and then saying, oh, this world's such a painful place to live in, but my light can shine. What are you doing? You can shine regardless of where you are, regardless of what story you're experiencing, and regardless of how aligned or misaligned the people around you are. And this is a fact of this realm. It's a truth. It's not a perspective.
How can a land with violence or that experience violence transfer that energy to the people in the future?
There are two ways in which this energy can be transferred. So first, it depends on what this land is meant to experience. Because just like you have a constellation in your existence, and you can say that land, Earth in general, let's focus on land, is part of your external toolkit. Yes. So this external toolkit also has a constellation of its own existence. Yes, it is in service of humanity, in service of the people that come in contact with it, that interact with it, that live on it. that pass by as tourists, as traders, whatever it is. It's there to amplify their witnessing of us. But it also goes through cycles and has a constellation. So, if it is part of its constellation that, say, it experiences war once, then it will only experience it once. If it's part of its constellation that it experiences war 50 times, then it will experience it 50 times. And so, 1, it's about constellations. 2 is about how aligned or misaligned the people that reside there are. So the more you shine in your light, the more this light, you can say, merges into the earth, into this land that you live on. But the more that you are in shadow, the more that you perpetuate shadow on the land. Because it is part of your external toolkit. It is going to be a very clear reflection of your own alignment or misalignment. So it goes back to the constellation and how aligned or misaligned the people that reside on this land are. And so, if you want to understand what's happening in a specific land, you look at it from these two perspectives. And what we would say is the constellation holds more power than how aligned or misaligned the people are. Because it can be a land where people are very aligned, but then it's part of the constellation that some contrasts take place on that land. So you can, if we had to put numbers, you can say constellations hold around 60 to 70% impact. And then the rest, 30% to 40%, is how aligned or misaligned the people are. Okay? We're going to also add, because part of your question was also that, how is this energy passed down to the people of the land? And energy of a land in the future does not pass down to the people. It's the opposite, is that your energy is passed down to the land because it is part of your external toolkit. You can go into a specific land and feel the energy of that land, but it's not passed down to you. It's that the land takes on the energy of the human beings that are making use of that land, living on it. Does that make sense? It can be passed down through your ancestors, not through the land itself. But through energetic programming, you can program certain land, or you can program land for the passing down of a certain vibration. But in general, that is not how it works, because a lot of land's not programmed.
The last question is, some people seem violently driven. Perhaps it's their role. You mentioned violence can be passed energetically to descendants. How does that process work when someone very violent, for example, if a figure like Hitler had children, influences future generations?
What we would say is, again, it goes back to constellation of existence. If it is part of the constellation of existence as humanity's collective evolution, or that child as well, and their experience with this realm, if it is part of their journey to experience what you term as evil energy, or to perpetuate that energy, then they will do that. And if it is not, then they won't. It's not about what is passed down as much as it is about the constellation of their existence. Does the parents pass down their energy? Yes, of course they do. So what holds more power is the constellation. If it is not part of their constellation, then it will not be passed down. And that's why, if you look around, you'll find children born in the same house that take on very different paths. And it's because their constellation of existence are different. Very different. They may both be impacted by a certain energy or belief that's passed down from the parent, but it doesn't hold as much impact as their constellation of existence.
This is the close of our series. We've explored violence, contrast, and the divine perspective. Reflect on your role, carry the light, and if you want more, subscribe to keep exploring these teachings with us. These messages come from divine source energy, channeled through divine consciousness, a capacity available to all. They are voiced with AI, so the focus remains on the message. not the messenger, and are divinely guided rather than personal ideas. The purpose of this channel is to expand perspective, inspire new systems rooted in love and oneness, and help humanity shift away from fear and control. When we say divine, we refer to the ultimate source of creation. Divine speaks, using the pronouns we, us, and our, for it is one with all that is, not separate from you or me. If this message resonates, share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to receive new weekly channeled sessions.